Smart glasses are everywhere these days, but there's one problem. None of them make you look refined enough to resemble a designer from somewhere in Europe that you don't know exactly where it is. Enter the Berlin smart glasses by a company called Latitude 52 degrees north, which is extremely European sounding. So yes, these are smart glasses with a kind of a fun European designer looking frame, and as we'll see, a pretty funky design. This company was founded by Gary Chen, another one of these kind of like ex-Oppo people who go into the interesting looking tech business, just like Carl Pei, the OnePlus guy who then left to found nothing. They're supposed to be like Meta AI glasses, but for people who travel a lot. Inside the box, we got a get started booklet. Shake the case to reveal the battery level, didn't know about that. It does not come with a charging cable to reduce environmental impact. And all the packaging, I should also note, is paper-based, even the little mount in there, so that's pretty cool. We don't have a charging cable, but we do have a wrist strap for the charging case, which I can't help think is not something I'm going to be wanting to carry on my wrist. You know, it's just striking me now that their logo here is very reminiscent of the Lumen logo from Severance, the hit Apple TV series that you're missing out on if you're not watching. So this is a charging case, first of all, and it holds 8 to 10 additional charges for the actual glasses themselves, which have a 6-hour battery life. I'm just gonna get that out of the way. They seem very light, and I can't help noticing after, reading their marketing about the nanomaterials used to like provide structure and strength to the frame, they don't feel extremely sturdy. Like there's some flex there. I know you want glasses to have a little bit of flex, so maybe that's fair enough, but like the sheen, the fingerprintiness of the material here is maybe having an effect on me. But what do they look like on my face? They look like this, and I can't resist doing some sort of voice. Darling, you're wearing that? What? It's the look. All right, let's talk about the actual hardware here. So they always do this. One of these is a 12 megapixel camera, and the other one is just a recording indicator LED. And their documentation says that it's this one. This is the 12 megapixel camera, and this is apparently a touch bar that you can use to do various functions that we'll get into, and a whole, I was like, this is just for style, but no, it's for like wrapping a strap around so you can like have the glasses on your neck, because these are travel focused, so you might be like going around in public and then you're like, I wanna take them off for a second. I assume. On the other side, I don't believe there's any kind of functional elements over here. It's just a normal glasses arm. On the bottom here, we've got a shutter button on what will be the right side when you're wearing them, which will let you take photos and videos. Down here, we also got some mics and speakers. Now there's 5 mics altogether on these glasses and 2 speakers. So there's 1 mic on this arm, 1 mic on this arm, 2 speakers there. Got a mic in the nose pad, kind of like a flat, like rubberized bit there. So that's 3 mics, 1, 2, 3, and then the other 2 are in the actual logos on the side of the glasses. That's interesting. Right in the very middle of the logo, that little dot is a mic. I don't wanna read too much into it, but I will say that I count stuff like this as a major point for a company when it's like, this is just something that shows that they're thinking about this kind of stuff, you know? Intentionality, authenticity, a little bit. And then the last thing to really mention about the exterior here is there are charging pins in the bridge of the nose there that attach to this kind of funny like dock mechanism in the case, and this moves up and down. But yeah, you can see the contacts on the top there. The last thing to note about the charging case is that it has IP67 water and dust resistance, which is pretty strong, as opposed to the IP65 on the actual glasses. That's pretty standard for smart wearables. We also have a USB-C charging port on the back. This can apparently charge these glasses from up to 70% in 20 minutes. Time to put these on, connect it to the app, and see whether I really do have an artistic vision when I wear them. After this message from our sponsor.
Jawa. If you know where to look, you can find pre-built PCs with up to 32 gigs of DDR5 RAM and a 50 series card for under $1,000. And the place to look is Jawa. They're a great online marketplace for you to buy and sell new and used gaming accessories and PC parts. Sellers are also verified, so you can rest assured that you're getting what you pay for. None of that marketplace tomfoolery, if you know what I'm saying. If you want to skip the hassle of researching, buying, and building a gaming PC for yourself, buy one from one of Jawa's verified sellers and visit our link in the description below.
Ugh, you came back. Sorry, okay, that's probably a bad reaction to have. I just look, you can tell I don't wear these kind of glasses normally, so it's, it's funny seeing myself. They do look, I feel like they do look fairly large on my face, like too large, and they're not even prescription. You can put prescription lenses in these. They also come with transitions lenses and various tinted lenses with different options for the 2 different colorways for this thing, which is, this one's Obsidian, and then there's a Dune, which is like more of like a cream gray one. All that aside, we're gonna try and use this because apparently it does have AI, it's got live translation, it's got Bluetooth functionality, obviously for the speakers. They've got an interesting like museum companion mode that we'll get into. But first, let's open the app and connect it. Volume up, okay. Okay, yeah, you can see I'm swiping and the volume is going up. All right, it's clicking every time I swipe, so it knows that I'm doing it, but it's not sending the message every time to do it. So there's a limit there. Control your music, tap it once to pause the music, tap again to resume. Pick up or hang up, tap it once to answer and twice to hang up. Okay, good to know. Oh, I think my hair was activating the touchpad. I just heard a bunch of noises like, I'm like, hello?
Hello.
Yeah, just to start out, before I go too far into the app, I guess, maybe I'll take a photo. Okay, so this is using the system where it takes a photo, and then if you want to see the photos, it needs to like disconnect from whatever network it needs to connect to this app and then download the photos and then you can see them. Brad points out that maybe this is an Apple issue, which it's a good time to point out that these glasses right now only work with iPhones, iOS, but apparently, and we're filming this in the end of May, and apparently in June it'll have Android support. So I guess we'll see by the time this video comes out. Got some photos. There are you guys. So this is a 12 megapixel camera. Apparently it can shoot 1080p 30 video. It's like it didn't really capture all the details of Sean's face, or Brad's kind of smoothing that out a little bit. There's clearly some AI processing going on. Oh, this is a video. Anyway, I'll take a better one though. The main reason everyone is using these is to take POV photos and videos, largely in situations where people don't know that you're recording, which is awesome and a cool thing that is happening in society. But,
What do you have to high five? Yeah, well, let's go. Smart glasses. I'm going to design so many things. Abdul!
wow. And that is, oh, it stopped right away. So I think the default recording length is 30 seconds, but you can set it to be longer. Oh, and I didn't even check to see whether those were horizontal or vertical videos. Apparently you can record in both formats. Yeah, indeed, here in the app here, you can change it from landscape to portrait if you want, and I guess it's showing that if you do portrait, it's going to crop it. So I don't know why you would want to do that in the glasses instead of just doing that in post if you need to, but I guess the option is there if you're like, I'm only ever posting on Reels. And the video length here, you can do 30 seconds, 1 minute, or 3 minutes, but no longer. Okay, let's take a look. Well, first of all, the photo. Oh man, the photo quality it seems decent from far away, but then when you zoom in, like we've got some clear processing going on, and there's like a weird, it almost looks like they were photoshopped into this, like they were pasted on. But here's the video. Oh, and I'm listening to audio.
Let's go, smart glasses. I'm going
Can you hear that?
so many things.
It's good enough for social media for sure. So apparently that's 1080p 30, but like, you know, this is the actual video as well. The kind of the quality is even worse, which is kind of expected, but you should be able to spy on people pretty good with this. Now, one question I have about the video recording is the notification LED, because a huge scourge that is happening right now is people recording other people without them knowing, because smart glasses usually have these LEDs to indicate that you're recording, but people have found all sorts of ways around them. One of the popular workarounds for recording video while the LED light is covered is just to cover the actual camera. But first, we'll see if will it record if I'm covering the LED.
Capture is blocked. The privacy LED on the right side is covered. Please uncover it to continue.
So it said capture is blocked. It won't let me record. So now I will cover the LED and cover the camera and try to record.
Capture is
Oh,
the privacy LED on the right side.
it said capture is blocked.
Please uncover it to continue.
Okay, so that popular workaround didn't work on these, so that's good. I mean, I'm saying it's good. All the people who wanted it to do creepy stuff are probably thinking that's not good. So they at least thought about that, so that's cool. It's cool for society. Oh, but I did want to know about the voice commands. Hey Goya, take a photo. It just went boop boop. So they called their AI Goya, apparently after a Spanish artist, which very much goes with the whole vibe here. And as I said the word Goya, the AI activated, but not that time. Goya. Oh, but I said they called their AI Goya? Why did it activate when I just said they called their AI Goya? Hey Goya. Are you listening right now? Nothing. It's an AI assistant that is just to listen. Control with the touchpad, control device with your voice. Here we go. Hey Goya, take a photo. Take a photo. Take a photo. So we do not know why the AI is not registering any commands. It's clearly listening, but it's just not registering commands. But thankfully we have a button in the app to activate live translation mode. And one of the only languages that this thing can translate is French. It can do German, Italian, and Spanish. We're gonna try the live translation mode in French with one of the only people in the office apparently who can speak somewhat fluid French. Henry.
Hello, hello.
Welcome.
Bonjour, je peux parler un peu de français, mais je ne pense pas que mon français c'est très bien.
Oh. Okay. Is that what you said?
Almost.
Oh, that's cool. When I speak English, it's gonna translate it to French for you.
Ah, c'est cool. Quand je parlerai anglais, ça va le traduire en français pour toi?
Wow. Thank God it did that, because I didn't understand until...
You're supposed to speak French.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Henry.
I'm out.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay.
Now, the only other AI feature that they've got here, which is kind of interesting, is this AI tour guide feature, which I guess will work in museums. It says, explore supported museums and landmarks in your city below. And then when you go to that place that is like one of the supported places, the AI will kind of be in tour guide mode, more so than a normal AI assistant that can also see what you're looking at, I guess. So I can't really test that out right now because we're not at one of these locations. And I can't even test out talking to the AI normally because it's being obtuse. One of the other things that people use these smart glasses for with the cameras and the Bluetooth speakers is the Bluetooth speakers. So let's just see what the quality is for that. I've noticed a lot of volume, so I've got high hopes here. Wow! Yo! These might be the best speakers I've ever heard on smart glasses. I mean, this is max volume, and you guys can hear it like quite easily. But like, how quiet could I get? Can you hear that?
Yeah, this is like a whisper.
A little bit? Just a little bit? So that's like still like a fairly enjoyable volume, and I'm at that's about 60%, 70%. All right, your AI is seemingly non-functional for us right now in this moment, but the speakers, there's a couple other things that I just forgot to mention. One is that they have felt very comfortable on my face. They are very light, they're only 50 grams, and they have these springy hinges. See that? They have these springy hinges, so they kind of like adapt to your head, and they're not like pressing in super hard or anything, so they're quite comfortable to wear, I'll say that. We looked at the photos and videos that I took, and you should be able to fit quite a few of those because they come with 32 gigabytes of onboard storage. And Latitude 52 degrees north is also selling kind of an interesting accessory called an Intercom strap, which will allow up to 8 wearers of their glasses to communicate like point to point, like directly between each other. It doesn't have to go over the internet or anything, so it's kind of like a walkie-talkie. At first I was like, what is the use of that? And then I remembered, oh right, these are for traveling, and you're traveling in a different country, and maybe there's inconsistent coverage, or you get lost in a market, and you don't want to get abducted and have Liam Neeson have to get off his butt and come and rescue you again. So you can just talk directly to each other with the intercom strap. I can see that. Does it make a lot of sense as a product? I don't know. If there was like an intercom strap like that worked with iPhones, like everybody has an iPhone, then okay. But like, how many people are gonna have these? Maybe a family buys 8 of these for their family and we're going on a trip. $400 is what these cost, by the way. $450 if you get the transition lenses models. So that might be a bit steep. The richest families in the world could really enjoy this. And I also didn't mention that there is another frame available. These are the Berlins, and there's a Milan frame that's just like slightly different, but it's not available yet, but it's going to be. There was another frame that they canceled called Antwerp. That's not coming anymore, but the Berlin and the Milan maybe will be available at some point. So that is the Latitude 52 degrees north Berlin smart glasses. I mean, you know, I had some fun with them. Travel is a big priority. Overall, a fairly positive experience. The AI not working is obviously, I don't know what's going on with that. It would be an issue if you want an AI to talk to, but the AI feature's not working. We're gonna see if we can get those to work, but if not, that's where this video ends. Overall, not the worst smart glasses I've ever seen. Speakers are freaking sick. And it'll be freaking sick if you watch another video from ShortCircuit and subscribe. How about this other smart glasses video I did? Whoa, that was a good one.